Welcome back, my cheers viewers. Welcome to my new vlog. Yes, it's me again, Christine with a K rather than CT OCON. And tada! Are you interested in my new vlog today? So without further ado, let's get started. Settle and have some popcorn. Enjoy! Welcome to another reflection vlog. In today's video, we'll talk over another issue or lesson related to my reflection. So let's go. Stay tuned for our first discussion. We're going to talk about Philippines. As a recap in my reflection in this topic, in his speech, President Ramon Magsaysay reaffirmed this idea by promising to build government that treats both the wealthy and the poor equally. President Magsaysay made a point of emphasizing the importance of addressing the needs of the general populace through social justice initiatives, particularly those living in slums and underdeveloped rural areas, as well as laborers and industrial workers. Re-examining the land reform initiative was one of the commitments he made during his inauguration. President Ramon Magsaysay began his speech by praising the achievements of some of our country's heroes, including Jose Rizal, the Pilar, Bonifacio, and Mabini. The people find value in their spirit. He continued by promising to uphold the Philippine Constitution. He also added land for landless to his list of items, and he will settle for our people. The health of the national economy is essential for ensuring public satisfaction and in order to improve the living standards of our common people. The advantages of economic or industrial development programs must first be distributed to them. We must not disregard our own issues in order to fulfill our international obligations. Finally, he buried the Communist Party, warning anyone who disobeyed the government to respect our nation and use all of the government's resources against them. Let's have the same self-belief that inspired the brave revolutionaries of the past. With only the bolo in their hands and courage in their hearts, they fought our privilege in their conflict. Despite lacking political education and experience, they drafted the first Asian Republic's constitution, which was on part of the greatest. Doctors and adversaries of our generation have claimed that we will never achieve independence from the U.S. Today, a free and independent republic governs us. Additionally, he expressed gratitude to God and begs for a blessing to help him on his quest. And this is all about the speech of one of the bravest and amazing president of our beloved country that have contributed a lot in our society and fellow countrymen. Our next discussion will be all about the report of cholera epidemic in the Philippines. Let us know about this issue. Let's go! So the intestinal bacterial infection, Vibrio cholerae, is what causes cholera. It's a diarrheal sickness. If someone consumes cholera-contaminated food or water, they risk getting sick, although it can occasionally be severe and life-threatening. The infection is typically moderate or symptomless. Watery diarrhea, often known as diarrhea, can be caused by the Vibrio bacteria of cholera, and it frequently results in stomach pain, nausea, dizziness, vomiting, a fever, chills and over salivation. So to inform you this, when we consume or maintain contact with water or food contaminated with a Vibrio cholerae bacteria, these effects typically starts to manifest within 24 hours and remain for 3 or more days. Rare cases of severe disease typically affect those with weak immune systems. This was an outbreak of this disease in the Philippines in the year 1902. So what really happens before about an outbreak of cholera in the Philippines? Well, if you didn't know about this, stay tuned and we're going to see the truth. According to official records and filed at the Philippine Islands Bureau of Health, the class case of cholera of the pandemic, which began on March 20, 1902, was reported on March 8, 1904. During that time, 166,252 cases of cholera and symptoms were registered, with 109,461 deaths. Reliable observers believe that for every case that made it into the official records, at least one more occurred. No cases are known to have occurred between March 8, 1904 and August 23, 1905. During this latter period, the National Board of Health was alerted to suspected cases that clinically resembled Asiatic cholera, but the diagnosis could not be confirmed bacteriologically. The number of suspicious instances grew in the 2 weeks leading up to August 23. One occurrence involved a soldier in Cuartel de España, and there were several in the province of Rizal. In Manila, one case happened at the San Pedro Makati area, one in a bakery in Paco, and one in the San Miguel district. In addition, the case of the soldier was carefully investigated by the military medical authorities, and specimens were examined at the Army laboratory that is maintained in connection with the 1st Reserve Hospital of the Manila. All cases in Manila were carefully examined post-mortem, and the intestinal contents were subjected to bacteriologic tests by such competent observers as Dr. R.P. Strong of the government laboratory and his assistants. The outcomes were reported as bad from both of these independent sources. Yet, the Libel prison was where the first incident of cholera appeared. A cholera case with the same clinical appearance first surfaced in Libel jail on August 23. Within a few hours, the person passed away. During the postmortem investigation, it was discovered that the gut had been fully injected and filled with a liquid like rice water. Dr. R.P. Strong's bacteriologic analysis revealed the presence of the cholera spirillum. As a result, the first confirmed case in summary of cholera in the ongoing pandemic happened. In addition, the cholera case in 1905 was more severe than case when compared to the case in 1902. The victims of cholera came from all social classes and ethnic groups, including the elite, the general populace, Filipinos, Americans, Spaniards, and Chinese. However, due to overcrowding, poor sanitation, and poor nutrition, the lower classes or poor people are the ones who are impacted by cholera, particularly in some areas of Manila. By the time the pandemic was over, roughly 109,461 people had died, 4,386 of whom were in Manila. So stay safe, everyone. Eat your food. Cook not raw. If it is raw, make sure that it was cleaned, since raw foods can cause contamination and it can be ingested and can make you sick, and much worse, you can have a cholera. Mostly clean your utensils, things in houses, sterilize every day, and also disinfect. The cleaner the better, the safer our life is. Stay safe, everyone. And yes, this is our discussion on this topic. Yeah, we are now in our last discussion. Our last discussion will be all about that. Yes. In this topic, the Republic of Philippines. 16th President Rodrigo Digong Roa Duterte gave his inaugural address on June 30, 2016 in the Malacanang Palace Rizal Hall. In his opening remarks, President Duterte states that without the support and cooperation of the people he has tasked with leading and sworn to serve. No leader, however strong, can achieve in anything of national importance or significance. True democracy, which Duterte has vowed to implement, is based on principles like this. Also, he remarks that government officials must listen to the murmurings of the people, feel their pulse, meet their needs, and affirm their faith and trust in us, whom they elected to public office. He was acknowledging himself as a public servant and appealing for unity in our nation. In the latter portion of his address, Duterte discussed a number of socio-economic problems facing Filipinos, including street crime, the selling of illegal drugs, and breakdown of law and order. Although Duterte views these issues as significant, he also sees them as signs of a more serious issue: the erosion of faith and the trust in government. The new president continues by outlining the negative consequences of the moral root of Filipino culture that he has witnessed, saying, "I have seen how illegal drugs damage individuals and shattered family connections." When he said, "Look at this from that perspective and tell me that I am wrong," he continued to challenge his audience. President Duterte asserts his knowledge, observance of the law, and position as president in the process. "I know what is lawful and what is not, and you mind your own work and I will mind mine." In addition, the President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, gave an incredible inaugural speech, and all I can say about it is that he keeps what he has promised. Because I have seen all of his accomplishments, particularly the efforts to end drug addiction. That is because crime rates are at their lowest during his administration, which is why I was so sad to see that his term as president was almost over. Of course, I also respect his right to rest because he is already elderly and deserves it. The presidency in the Philippines is the biggest responsibility he has, which is why I'm so proud of him. I am very, very proud of our President Duterte. He was an brave, intelligent, loving, and a unique father of our country. He is so amazing. Yay! You made it to the end of this video. I hope you have learned today. This is me, KRISTINE OCON, bidding my farewell. Until next time again, my fellow friends. Ciao!